Yeah, I mean, don't forget, today was a lot of fun. We're going to do it all again tomorrow with a different accent. The European side of this tournament happens tomorrow, and then we see the final legs of it happen on Sunday as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the final game of tonight, In Memory of Gabe versus SoaR Gaming. We're going to take care of the picks and bans, and then we'll toss it over to Aggro and Hindu Man for the final shouts. The bans coming out soon. We'll see which way Gabe wants to go. Taco's giggling, Chapo's drumming, the guys across the way are making faces. We need to figure out these matches.
Well, let's see one thing. I mean, Memory of Gabe took Fafnir, banned Fafnir. Will they give up Fafnir this game? I mean, they don't want to see Jigz on it, obviously, because they've taken it and banned it. Let's see if they give it up. I mean, Memory of Gabe first ban still. That means it. Oh, there it is. God damn.
The Fafnir ban, very important. The Kabrakin, however, I think is absolutely integral to where these teams are going to go. Sylvanas, very important ban as well. You can tell what's very interesting is that SoaR Gaming and In Memory of Gabe with Jigz and Eonic respectively, very important parts of their teams on that support position. Of course, with those 4 bans, leaves a glaring hole. And Skadi, she's going to come on out.
And I can tell you for a fact that any team that gets the first pick, Skadi, is more than happy to do so. But at the same time, Andy finally gets his Raw. And we've seen Andy on Raw time and time again, and that's just scary.
Listen, Andy's Raw has single-handedly won games before. Andinster making the transition from the jungle into the mid lane early in the season left a little bit to be desired. But one of the first characters that he came out and said, look, I'm a mid laner now, was the Raw. What's it like being on the receiving end of that?
Yo, take cover. There's snipes coming your way.
He's going to shoot through the wall. He's going to shoot no vision.
You don't need to see.
He's going to find you. I mean, he made a name for himself playing Thor and getting those double taps through with no vision through walls. He's doing the same thing on the laser chicken. So SoaR Gaming going to pair that up with Terra. Option over to In Memory of Gabe.
And I love the pairing with the Terra because not only does Terra provide that sustain that you would want, but she also has a solid amount of peel, and she could potentially be a flex pick here. That could go for Jigz, that could go to fineokay, and either of those options already, I'm liking the sustain ability that SoaR is able to provide.
On the other end, I like that Memory of Gabe adapted. It didn't first pick the Chang'e. They said, all right, Chang'e is not working for us. Let's go back to the Thor and let's go back to our ways.
Ooh. You got Skadi, you got Thor on Cynosure, you got Thoth on Hurriwind.
That's their guns.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch, but I am counting them right now. This is a dangerous draft for In Memory of Gabe to have, and they're not even done.
And this is Battle of the Chickens at the same time. You got Thoth facing off against the Raw. Who's the better American sniper in this instance? Is it going to be Andinster? Is it going to be Hurriwind? Both of them, we know, have been playing these gods excellently. So I'm definitely excited to see how it all unfolds.
The ROM taken by SoaR Gaming. I would say taken away from Snoopy, but he already has his Ice Woman. So Skadi is going to be the selection for Gabe. ROM will be the hunter of choice for SoaR Gaming. And now we're in our second round of bans. Osiris banned out by SoaR Gaming, so no high pressure in the solo. And Amaterasu, we know that Jigz does like to play that support.
I was going to say, I could see SoaR banning Odin here, and that's what they do. I mean, they have 3 gods that can't get out of the cage, and Whalrus just showed, made a show with it in game 1, and, almost cost them the game with it. So I like the ban.
Yeah, I think that's an intelligent ban, and anytime Hunbats is banned, I'm giving you a thumbs up. The character can do a lot. The character can be an initiator. He can be a counter-initiator. He can be a raw assassin. He can be a support character. There's just too much that the Party Monkey does, so just take him off. Hercules, one more time on the side of SoaR Gaming. fineokay looked so good. I'm just excited. I'm getting the popcorn.
I bet you can imagine. What if fineokay isn't on that Hercules?
That's interesting.
I could play the. I'm doing it again. Round 2, Devil's Advocate. This could potentially be Jigz on the Hercules instead. Unlikely, but possible.
I could see it just because Skadi is really bad versus Hercules. Hercules just walk up, it's free CC, free disposition. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, you can, and like I said, Andinster really likes the Hercules jungle, so being that he's in the mid lane, a little bit less likely, but certainly something to think about. Why is that so funny?
Yeah, you know what? I can see Herc mid too.
Nobody said Herc.
Andy's going jungle, guys, and right now it's going to be Homie and Andy's the good old-fashioned switcheroo. Nobody expects it.
Nobody expects it. I wouldn't expect it. I already expect it.
So on the desk, do I have to wait to 20 minutes to F6? I think I'm done with my team right now. This matchmaking isn't working out.
What do you mean we're dual queue?
Last pick for SoaR Gaming here, folks. Terra, Ram, and Hercules. They're going to round out their selection with a Susano.
Ooh.
That'll be Homiefe's of choice. Absolutely, can certainly run the game. So, I'm done with you guys talking. One word, SoaR Gabe, who wins?
SoaR.
Taco.
Undecided.
She's taking the easy way out. Aggro and Hindu, they're not so lucky. Let's toss it to them. Bring us the final game of tonight.
All I know is that you guys at home are the victors. That's all I'm going to say. Memory of Gabe versus SoaR for the final game here. Winner goes on to face EU United on Sunday. And the loser, well, they get to pack up their bags and go back to the hotel.
And they just have to sit and watch as Europe plays tomorrow, and then the winner of this plays up against E United on Sunday. You're right. This is as high pressure as it gets right now. And again, this day has just gone on for so long, and that could just be such a mental drain. It's about who can stay focused for longer in this game.
But how is Cabrakan and Skadi getting through? Like, if you think about the bans in this, it should be Skadi, Cabrakan are the two major bans that need to come out. Everything else is
Well, Gabe's in a great position here because they immediately ban away Scylla to start it off, right? It's a respect ban for how well Andinster played in Game 2 there. So they already know that they're going to get either Skadi or Cabrakan. Now, you could have seen SoaR ban neither of them and force Gabe to make a choice. Exactly, and they get one. Instead, they decide to only ban Cabrakan and ban Sylvanas instead. And I can't really blame them. I mean, Eonic has looked so good on Sylvanas. It's one of the gods that he's played at a high level, going all the way back to, you know, Season 1, Season 2, all those sorts of things. But you're right. I mean, Skadi has just been dominant basically all day. Noble, really the only team who didn't find any success with her.
That's true. But SoaR here, they did just win the last game in a comfortable fashion as well.
Yes.
They've got some of the picks that they had last time round, most notably, really, fineokay on Hercules.
If SoaR don't ward their backside entrances to mid, I might have an aneurysm.
I think we all will. I think everybody watching will, just because we've seen it 2 times in a row.
Someone call a doctor, because I don't see any wards.
It can't happen, man. Surely it can't happen again. Eonic and Snoopy, though, they're setting up for the red buff here, but they've got Whalrus. Look where Snoopy is. The cameraman's not showing you right now, but the minimap is that Whalrus is on this left-hand side as well, behind Kelly. There he is! There's a little cheeky baby!
He's tiny. You can't see him behind that wall.
Well, Vetium's going to see him in a second, and he's actually going to see 3 members now because he can collapse from all sides. The beats early to avoid the slows. So important! But Eonic took the pluck, and with Calder being here, that should be a dead Vetium! Go, Calder, go! Vetium, no! Why did you stop?
I don't know. He probably would have died either way there, I think. Yeah. It was actually not that bad of an idea to
I just wanted to cast the chase, that was all.
That's true.
That's what I'm disappointed about. First Blood, though, will go the way of Memory of Gabe, getting him off to a great start again, just like what happened in Game 1.
It's almost like when you play Gabe, you should assume that Whalrus isn't in his lane at the beginning.
Potentially, and then from there, ward to make sure he's not there, or invade the jungle. The good news is, SoaR did capitalize on that by invading the jungle. They steal away the blue and the speed buff away from Whalrus, but Whalrus has been in this spot before and came back into it in Game 1.
It clearly doesn't bother him too much, but he has gone for the multi-potions here on the Vamana. Vamana not especially efficient on clearing without mana, does need to use multiple abilities to clear the wave early on, so this lack of blue buff could come back to haunt him.
I mean, then again, so does fineokay, but the difference is that he does have a jungler in tow that is with him at the start of the game with a blue stone pendant. Purple buff on the left-hand side. After the red buff taken down for Memory of Gabe, they're already level 3. Vetium done a good job of hitting level 2 at least, and he's just got to sit under this tower.
This little area of the map where you see the little red circle, that's where Vetium's going to be for the next 10 minutes. That's where he needs to be for quite some time if he wants to be able to survive and get towards the mid to late stages of this game.
And this is what we've seen on the highest level. As time has gone on, the map will be divided in half straight down the middle, pretty much. Memory of Gabe, they took the whole left-hand side of this map, both red buffs, and they'll get both purple buffs as well. But on the right-hand side, SoaR Gaming, they get both speeds, and they get both blues.
But early on, I think I'd rather have the speeds and the blues than the reds and the purples. The red buff goes off of your total power, so you're not getting a whole lot of effectiveness off of that. The movement speed buff is just a flat number where you move faster whenever you pick it up. The blue buff, you just get more mana back, and you get a little bit of CDR as well. Those early game buffs on the right-hand side just are a little bit more impactful than that on the left.
Well, Whalrus going to be careful here up against fineokay. fineokay is level 5 right now, and you saw how destructive he could be on his Hercules last game. The Earthbreakers, if they hit, Whalrus could be in a lot of trouble.
I mean, fineokay just absolutely went off in Game 2. And I love to see him back on this Hercules in Game 3. Hercules is a rhythm character for me. It's about the timing, knowing your your Earthbreakers, just getting everyone pulled back, and just getting him on it 2 games in a row, knowing that he's comfortable. Really, really intelligent draft by SoaR.
And you mentioned the timing there, but Whalrus knew that fineokay had him backed and there was a potential of a gank there just because he knew all the speed and blues were down. So it's like, where would he have gone? He wouldn't have based just yet. He would have wanted to stay in lane a little bit longer if he can impress me some more. Maybe there's a trap coming.
And there's always a trap. Whenever you assume there might be a trap, it's always a trap. And that's exactly why I'm surprised we didn't see SoaR ward, because, again, Whalrus, he's always trying to set a trap somewhere.
But it's not doom and gloom, even though First Blood did go over to Snoopy on that Skadi. It's not all doom and gloom right now for SoaR. They are still in this game. Their composition has a lot of sustain in it as this time goes on. And Memory of Gabe have to take that into account when we get to the team fight stages, making sure they have some forms of anti-heal.
But that's all the more reason that I love this Sobek pick. That Sickening Strike can add a little bit of extra anti-heal. I'm assuming we'll see multiple Pestilences from both Whalrus and Eonic. Hurriwind or Snoopy. We know Snoopy's going to go for Brawler's Beat Stick. Basically, every Skadi goes for Brawler's Beat Stick, just core in the kit for the power and penetration.
It's a good
but
point.
This is one matchup where that passive is going to pay big dividends up against not only Ra, but the Terra and the Hercules as well.
Well, there's a batter coming towards mid lane now, stepping up to the plate. There's 3 members on that plate right now that was created by Jigz, and there he's waiting fineokay. Fantastic work, though, from Cynosure to get away with the minuscule amount of health, but Hurriwind, he's in more trouble. Snoopy got picked up as well on the left as this is going on. SoaR winning across the map.
Meditation popped in the mid lane, keeps fineokay nice and healthy. Now Eonic, he's in some trouble, rooted out by Jigz, driving strike as well. fineokay puts himself on the board. Quickly, SoaR get 3 kills to their name.
And not just that, they'll get the right-hand harpies, the red buff on the left-hand side as well from Memory of Gabe's jungle, and force Cynosure to come over and defend this side. But Cynosure's got to be careful here. He's got no ult.
But he doesn't quite find the pull onto Cynosure to get the beads. There's the beads out of Homiefe. And Homie finds the kill and then lets Cynosure know exactly what he thinks of him.
Okay. So I love the preemptive beads there from Homiefe as well. He knew he could get the kill. It wasn't preemptive, I should say. He got hit by the wall, but beads knowing that he could still find the kill because he had cooldowns available, and Cynosure had already used everything he had.
That's very, very true. I mean, he just knowing exactly how much damage he can do. Homiefe looked horrendous in Game 1. I think that that's pretty fair to say. Just never got anything going, and even whenever he tried to hit his ultimates, he was missing Scythe after the stun, missing the ult, all these sorts of things. He looked great in Game 2 on that Cabrakan, and now seems to be in the zone early on here in Game 3.
Well, now we've got a ball game between these 2 teams because it is just a best of 1 left. First to 2 wins will move on to face United. And after the first blood going to Memory of Gabe, SoaR have answered back. But Memory of Gabe is still in a comfortable position right now. The only big problem I see is that jungler Homiefe on Susano, who has just over a 2-level lead on Cynosure.
It's a large lead for Homiefe, and Susano is one of those characters that you really don't want to fall behind against because of the fact that he's so safe with his multiple mobility abilities. And then you've got his passive as well on top of that, giving him extra movement speed when those dashes are on cooldown. How do you catch this guy? You just can't.
And now Eonic might have to forego getting some experience to catch Cynosure back up a little bit, I expect, and that's why you saw him splitting the mid wave a little bit more there. But he isn't the back harpies there, so we'll soak that 3 ways and slow down the experience gain for his own jungler.
No, it's the back harpies, there's 3 of them, so you can split it 3 ways.
Gotcha.
That's how that works. One for each.
I remember that, just for future reference. Left-hand side, though, the Hunter's still going at it. The only reason Rama really gets picked most of the time against a Skadi is just he's more survivable than most of the other Hunters. You can't really do well against the Skadi in the lane. In a boxing match like that, that's what happens. But if you do get within kill range, you can take to the sky and hope.
Yeah,
just hope your team's coming.
It's just about buying yourself time, basically, in that Rom ultimate. Now, there are a couple other interactions where the Astral Arrows take 2 hit points off of Kaldier's 5, but a lot of times it's Skadi's ulting, and on this patch, that means Kaldier is immune, so that doesn't really matter.
Well, Snoopy might get caught again, but he's staying very far away from that right-hand side, knowing there could be danger. The permafrost helped him out from the danger a little bit more than he needed to, and Caldair paid the price, but it's okay. Caldair regens.
Homiefe almost took a ride right underneath the tower. There's how you see permafrost is just so strong, not only in terms of the CC, but once Snoopy starts getting some points into that ability, it does a ton of damage, and it's guaranteed. That is an unmissable ability.
And now Cynosure's headed over to the left-hand side, but bad news is Vetium is not around. fineokay, however, in the mid lane is around. Fantastic stun out of Hurriwind there, just to prevent the opportunity of that Earthbreaker being available.
Hurriwind on the Thoth once more just looks so comfortable on this god. And it fits Hurriwind's playstyle so much more. We've seen Hurriwind just experiment with these hunters in the mid lane, the Cupid pick up against Oxygen Supremacy, which obviously did not work out. Game 2 there, the Hu Yi. I'm done. I'm done seeing Hurriwind on mages. Or on hunters. He carries on mages. Put him on mages and let him do work for the team.
Well, right now he has fallen down once, but that Doom Orb is stacking up now. 16 stacks online for Hurriwind on that Thoth in the mid lane. And we spoke about the positioning, very important to Thoth, just like Giannis. Gold Fury being looked at by both teams, but mainly it's for the Oracles, more so than the Gold Fury at this stage.
And that's just about that vision, knowing that Vetium can continue to push up like this, up against Snoopy. He's really been on his tower line most of this game, but the Oracles are split. Eonic looked like he stole one away there with that sickening strike, so no vision for anybody.
No vision for now, but wards will come into play a little bit as time goes on there. Do remember splitting the mid lane, level 9 for Cynosure now. Done a pretty good job of slowing the gap on Homiefe, who's at level 10, but the speed buff may change that.
Exactly, level 11 now, just above 2 levels lead.
It's like I've casted games before.
Yeah, well. See, if I were you, right there, I would say, we couldn't tell, because I would be mean. But I'm not mean, and so I'm not going to say that.
Okay. Good work there. Elementals have just respawned as well on the right hand. I've got nothing to say to that, because you're aggro, and everybody knows you're aggro too. So it's like, listen, aggro spoke, no one listened, so it's okay. Elementals have spawned on the right hand side there. There you go. But no one's going to go for them yet. Cynosure has his ultimate available, potentially looking for a pick onto Andinster in the mid lane if they can find it. Instead, I'll just accept the back harpies for the time being. It's gone a little bit quiet all of a sudden between these two. They both are starting to realize now, aggro, they're even.
Yeah, this is a very, very evenly matched game, not only in terms of these drafts, I think, but in terms of the player skill as well. 2 top-tier teams in North America and the world, without a doubt, in my mind here. Just going up against the right to play against E-United in the NA final on Sunday.
I just realized that Memory of Gabe and SoaR are not the top teams in North America. They are great teams,
sure,
but you still got Eager, Luminosity, and E-United above them. This is the level of competition North America has, and the Challenger circuit of North America just showed how good they are as well.
Yeah, they pushed Gabe to the limit going up against them earlier on today. We talk about it all the time, and I'm sure everyone's sick of hearing it, but the level of competition has never been better in Smite than it is right now. These teams just continue to improve and improve.
Gold Fury pulled by SoaR here, but they're taking a long time to do this. Whether they're baiting for a fight or they don't think they've noticed, they have been, because the Eonic's already there. And there's Cynosure collapsing onto Andinster straight away, and he didn't chill out there. Instead, he turns the snipe on his head, and it's Cynosure in the face! Hurriwind getting sniped out as well on the backside of that as that continued, thanks to the snaps coming out from Vetium, and now Whalrus is in trouble.
The jukes from Andy are good, and he turns it around and kills Whalrus as well. 3 dead now for Gabe, all centered around Andinster, just buying time with that heal.
That's just one of those things where I just go, okay? Like, I don't understand what exactly went wrong there. They collapsed on the Gold Fury SoaR, which was a little bit suspect at how they were doing it too. It looked like they were trying to actually burst it, but they didn't have the damage output. Instead, they dispersed.
I think that was I think that was a bait. They were doing that Gold Fury slowly, intentionally, to make Gabe think that they had blown some cooldowns, maybe, just trying to bait them into the fight. Cynosure goes way deeper than anyone on Gabe can follow up with. The final judgment came out, but it wasn't on to Andinster because he was just too far away from Hurriwind at that stage. And that's one of the things that's very difficult about playing these long-range characters like Thor. You can just get a little bit farther along than you really intend to. It was a great dunk in the right target,
sure,
but not with where the rest of Gabe was. The turnaround was phenomenal. And not only does SoaR take the fight in the Gold Fury, but now the Portal Demon as well.
And that just continues to extend the lead a little bit more. Jigz now happy to sit on this right-hand side. 3,700 gold in the lead, 5,500 experience as well. And only 12 minutes in. Is this going to be another one of these games between the two where it's just 20 minutes, GG?
I don't think so. I mean, this game, it's right underneath 4,000. 4,000 gold, yes, but every big objective is now off the map, which means it's going to be at least another about 4 minutes until SoaR could continue to push this lead up with another Gold Fury, something along those lines that could really
fineokay. He's still going to go for it, potentially. He's thinking about it. He's got to be careful of Whalrus, though, but stopping the back at Cynosure as much as possible. The team on the left-hand side from SoaR, though, aren't doing much with this, and now fineokay could be in trouble from staying around too long.
fineokay got sundered there by Whalrus. Cynosure tried to go for the dunk and realized he would have probably died even if it had hit. So instead retreats, and fineokay takes the 2v1.
Meanwhile, in mid lane, the Hurriwind is getting 3v2. The Eonic was there, but a little bit late to that party. And the party poppers had already popped onto Hurriwind's face. And with that, SoaR do find a win based off what fineokay was doing right.
So in game 1, you were saying, I don't know about this raw ban. Now you see the raw ban. Andinster has been on point every single time. Homiefe also on point. 5-0-1, cleans up Snoopy.
And Homiefe could be the next on the list, though, from my Memory of Gabe's point of view. Eonic gets credit for that kill, getting the shutdown on Homiefe. They don't necessarily want it onto the Sobek. They would have liked to that potentially go to Cynosure or Whalrus there, who are both struggling a little bit in this game.
Yeah, or even Snoopy, just give the guy who's a little bit ahead, you know, who's even or close to even, a kill, but he was still busy sitting down after that kill from Homiefe.
And that's the hope I'm looking at from now already for Memory of Gabe, is towards Skadi, who is still equal level in the Hunter role. Hunters, as the game goes on, once you said he's going to potentially go for the Brawler's Beat Stick, which it looks like he's working on next. The anti-heal will come into play, but the burst damage and control that a Skadi can bring can be insurmountable.
Oh, it's crazy. Just not only that, but easy Brawlers procs onto these healers from SoaR from a distance, able to use that 1, use the 3, able to put that anti-heal onto the sustained characters of SoaR. And that's the thing I was about to bring up, though, is that this lead for SoaR, what do we usually see from healing compositions? They kind of take it on the chin for a little bit, and then they turn it around with a mid-game siege.
Knockout punch.
Exactly. Now, they're the ones who's already jabbing away at Gabe's defenses, and once that healing starts to become even more potent, it's going to be really difficult to handle.
Cynosure once again. I do feel like he uses that ultimate off cooldown, but he's playing it the right way for how his team utilizes it. If he finds the dunk, or even just draws the attention of him for a moment, he can turn it around. Talking about turnaround here, Vetium did a good bit of poke onto Snoopy, but he's forced into the sky. Snoopy's been baited a little bit here.
Without a doubt, Homiefe here and sets up Vetium for the 3rd snipe. Vetium hits all 3 and cleans up Snoopy. SoaR also recognized that Snoopy is Gabe's greatest hope and immediately go to try and shut that down.
Well, Cynosure on the left-hand side to defend. Eonic and Hurriwind about to join him, but that means Hurriwind's got a decision to make. Defend the tier 2 or lose a full wave in mid lane. Most of that mid wave is going to be dead by the time Hurriwind gets there anyway, so another small win for SoaR.
And you just cannot afford to give up more mid waves if you're Hurriwind at this stage in the game, but there's a Terra's Blessing pop. Homiefe looking for him underneath that tier 1 tower. Look at the damage. Homiefe just solos down Hurriwind and dashes to safety.
Listen, Homiefe may have had a bad game the first of this set, but not the last 2. Mid tower is going to fall down at the same time as Cynosure. He's taking a lot of poke and is forced out, as is Eonic, but Eonic's going into an awkward spot.
The snipe didn't quite hit there for Andinster, but it's not going to matter in the end as he picks up that kill. Another one goes the way of the SoaR mid laner, and now 12-2 in the lead in terms of kills.
Really big situation for SoaR to be in right now. After going down 1-0 to Memory of Gabe in a ruffle stomp of game 1, the last 2 have been in SoaR's favor. This one is looking the same way right now.
This is the SoaR that we've seen the last few weeks of the spring split. The game 1, that was the first few weeks of the spring split from SoaR.
That's true.
Starting off 0-6, just finding absolutely 0 success in those games. They have to forfeit up against Eunited, and that's why I really am excited to potentially see them face off, because they didn't play each other during the regular season.
Straight to Snoopy, and Snoopy's down to 25%. Make that 0 after Vetium cleans it up with the in-hands. Gold Fury now going to be started by SoaR. In the sky is Cyno.
Looking for it, thinking about it, but instead get a dunk onto fineokay and then just get out of dodge. fineokay just not even worried about it. Cyno knew he would have been all by himself. He's already about half HP, low on mana as well. No contest coming out of Gabe. And that Gold Fury pushes this lead for SoaR up above 7,500.
But I don't think Gabe can really give up this Portal Demon as well. They've just gave away gold Portal Demon, gold Portal Demon. If they give this one as well, they've got to contest this. If they don't, this is just getting too far out of hand once again.
And they just don't. They just have nothing to do but stand there and watch. SoaR continues to just dominate here in game 3.
Small window, potentially, for Memory of Gabe is the amount of anti-heal that is now coming online for them. 3 members now with some anti-heal with the Pestilence and 2 Brawlers Beat Sticks, but it might just be too late. We talked about sustained comps, and if they get a lead, they can really punish you. They had a lead before even sustain came into play.
It's just been unbelievable, the play out of Homiefe in particular. 6, 1, and 3 on the jungler. He's top of the player damage as well. And it's not just been poke damage, which Susano does quite a bit of. It has been, I'm going to all in and kill you damage every single time he sees Hurriwind. He's immediately jumping right on top of him. That mobility that Thoth has, that's fine and all, but Susano doesn't really care about that because he still has more mobility than any other character.
We'll talk about Homiefe. He's on the left-hand side now getting some free farm. Whalrus walked a little bit too far forward there, wanted to check the Fire Giant. Cynosure got a double tap off, but now he's got no hammer to get away. Has to spin to win, but the snipes are raining down, going to get the Aegis out of him there as well. He's Vetium, and Andinster's in a bit of trouble again, but the juke boots are still real.
Trying to get away, but now locked in place. Vetium finds Whalrus, but Cyno comes crashing down. It secures the kill for Snoopy onto Andinster.
Cynosure's going to look for the damage onto Jigz and try and trade this one out, but it's a level 13 Guardian against a level 14 jungler, and with Vetium just behind Jigz there, it's going to be an awkward spot. Meanwhile...
Ooh, Homiefe able to get taken out there actually by Hurriwind, while fineokay finds Snoopy. Cynosure just going to farm up the enemy back camps because that's where he is. Jigz does end up escaping.
2 for 2, and that goes in favor of Memory of Gabe just because of the shutdown bonuses. They picked up Homiefe and they picked up Andinster in mid lane. Huge. They are 2 big names to get, but who got their scalps?
And that Hurriwind was one of them. He got on the board, getting an extra 5 stacks onto that Doom Orb, as well as that ever important gold and experience, which is definitely needed. He's only level 14. The problem for Gabe, though, is that Whalrus in this game has just been completely absent. Games 2 and 3, Whalrus has just been handled by fineokay on this Hercules. Both times the exact same matchup. Whalrus only level 15. It's just impossible to frontline when you are down in levels. Warriors are phenomenal from ahead, but they're designed to play from ahead. From even or behind, they just aren't nearly as effective.
Memory of Gabe, they'll need to do a couple more fights like that. They have to dance with death over and over again. Have to. They are dancing with death every time they go in against this overly fed enemy team that they're against. Cynosure has to go in like he has been doing in the last engagement and then get out at the last minute. Even if it means he could potentially die, you've got to go for it.
There's just no chance for them to come back if they're playing safe. It's just not possible. They have to, unless SoaR makes a grievous error, but with how SoaR's playing right now, that just doesn't feel likely.
Eonic forced to dash away, and Cynosure will drop the wall as well to help with his escape. But the Fire Giant at the moment is going to be the focus from SoaR. fineokay on zone duty, but it's by Memory of Gabe time to get over here to defend.
This is pretty early for the Fire Giant, only 20 minutes in, but the gold lead is pretty exorbitant, about 8K. fineokay doing his best to create a zone there, but Whalrus immediately walks right past him, but has to go up into the big baby.
But I don't think they needed to fight this Memory of Gabe now. Cynosure dunks in. Andinster's already taken out one, though, as Vetium was sniping from the sky. Cynosure will pick up Andinster off the back of that. The crit onto Whalrus was pretty good. Vetium wants to give chase as fineokay takes out Cynosure, and poor old Eonic will also fall.
Left behind, only Whalrus and Hurriwind remain, but fineokay wants to make that only Whalrus if he had a choice. Homiefe is looking to clean up, as well as the last 3 members, or other 2 members rather. Andinster falling in that engagement, so it's only Jigz and Vetium on this Fire Giant.
That fight was just a little bit weird for me from Memory of Gabe, because they weren't on the Fire Giant SoaR anyway. Whalrus saw that, but he popped the big baby and went, all right, let's go. Okay. No, it's Jigz. That comes before. But that was awful. There's nothing to talk about. On top of that, Whalrus just did that too. So 1 for 1, great plays. Fire Giant, and now the tier 2 tower in mid lane going to go down to fineokay here as well, as he will take that up against Hurriwind. Fire Giant on only 3 members of SoaR here, as Andinster was dead, and Jigz decided he wanted a faster trip back to base.
fineokay really wants this red buff, but Hurriwind secures it despite the ultimate out of the Hercules. At least I think he got it.
Yes, he did. If you didn't realize. Yeah. Meanwhile, everything is fine and dandy for SoaR. They can look to the left-hand side to continue to push for the tier 2 tower. It's already at just above half health right now. It's an additional 1,500 gold for the coffers, as will this Gold Fury add to that as well, and they're going to get that for free.
Without a doubt. 3 members have Fire Giant. Andinster was dead. Jigz killed himself right before that Fire Giant went down, so only Homiefe, fineokay, and Vetium have it. But I don't think it really is that big of a difference either way at this stage in the game. When you're up about 12,000 gold, you can get away with a lot of misplays.
Well, Memory of Gabe are looking to try and at least get a tier 1 tower on the right-hand side here, but the problem is the reinforcements of SoaR are on the way. Jigz is watching in the wings here, as fineokay is taking on 4 right now, but 3 members are still with him. Meanwhile, Aggro, what's going on left?
Vetium is there, Hindu. He's pushing down that last tier 2 tower in the left-hand side. Cynosure forced up into the Anvil of Dawn just to get out of the pressure that SoaR was exerting onto him. Tier 2 tower falls on the left to the hand of Vetium. Only 1 tower still remaining for Gabe that defends their base.
And SoaR keeping so many people on the right-hand side is going to allow him to get the Portal Demon as well as that tier 2 tower. The gold lead is out of control.
Just exorbitant right now. There's really, that's the word, it's just way too much for Gabe to handle at this stage. And again, I liked the idea to try and play aggressive and try and play, you know, all in, just make a play if we can, but it just didn't work out by that Fire Giant. And now you just have to wait and hope that SoaR makes a mistake.
Well, let's see what SoaR can do with this, because there's only 1 tier 2 tower left remaining, and then they should just pretty much swing over to the left-hand side. The furthest Phoenix from the Fire Giant is always the preferred one you'd like.
Whalrus gets pulled out of that clear the path, but Homiefe being alone means that Whalrus is going to be able to escape. Nice decision from him to not use that Colossal Fury. I think a lot of players may have panicked in that scenario and used it.
Well, right now they've got a call to make here, Memory of Gabe, because Cynosure's on the left-hand side, split pushing for a tier 1, trying to get some farm to catch up. But he may need to get back here relatively quickly, and that's why he stops DPS on the tier 1 to get back for the defense of the Phoenix.
But he doesn't have his ultimate quite yet, so he's got to walk up and try and make it happen. Whalrus, see ya,
dude.
So,
you know, Whalrus had an ultimate then, but he's not going to get to use it. Snoopy has an ultimate, but he might not get to use it either because Vetium's forcing him back. The Phoenix is not got an ultimate, but it doesn't matter because it's dead anyway as well.
Only 2 members have ults. Andinster used his there as well to try and make sure that Whalrus fell, but I don't think it's that big of a difference. There's Terra's Blessing coming out of Jigz. This Phoenix in the mid lane just falling too low as Jigz cleans up Cyno.
And the Phoenix gets cleaned up at the backside by Andinster. Vetium rolls in to pick up Snoopy as well. Can they end off right now, Aggro? It looks like they're going to go for it.
They're going to try. They don't even want to worry about that left side Phoenix. Eonic and Hurriwind watch as SoaR and Gabe spring split. They're moving on to face off against E-United on Sunday.
I wouldn't say the Memory of Gabe versus SoaR set was disappointing, but they were just both so focused on clean games. As soon as they got a lead, they both strangled each other out every single time. It wasn't like one team outperformed the other overall, like it was just a clean sweep.
It was just whoever got off to the better start, it felt like, in that series. And that really has not been the case for the majority of Season 4.
Not at all.
There is a lot of comeback potential for these teams, but in this set, for whatever reason, it just felt like whoever got off to that start, the game was just instantly over.
And now SoaR, well, they did a good performance to actually find the wins there today. But Memory of Gabe can hold their heads high. They defeated Oxygen, which half the Pro League couldn't do.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Basically, no one looked like they were going to be able to do that. But it's called a Gauntlet for a reason. Oxygen just didn't have enough gas in the tank to make it through and find all 10 wins that were needed.
And now with that, they will move on to face E-United SoaR on Sunday. And that's North America ramped up for today, at least. But it's been an exciting day.
Without a doubt. I mean, who would have thought that we'd have a Challenger Cup team win 7 games in a row? Remember,
Ludicrous.
They took the first game off Gabe as well. Looked like they may go for 8. It was absolutely awesome day to watch. We had a lot of great plays, and I can only hope that EU will bring the same tomorrow.
Well, it should do overall, but it's time to head over to the Analyst, really, for their breakdown of the final game of today and also to look towards tomorrow as well. F-Dot standing by with 2 wonderful people.
All right, thank you very much. I'm here with myself and 2 people. It's going to be Chapo and Taco here to lock it down. Fantastic stuff that we got to see today. Gabe winds up falling to SoaR in the long run. SoaR making things happen.
And I think that was a great display by SoaR overall. They just showed their adaptability really to the situation as a whole and just overall managed to find the 2-1 victory on top.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, we talked about individual prowess, and that's what really came through. We saw everybody play their parts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Homiefe popped off, pulled out the Susano, showed why he's so good. I mean, they unleashed the beast, and they let him get raw, and they paid for it.
That was my thing the entire season. Well, okay. Andy struggled originally when he came into the middle lane, and then there was a specific game that I could just point to where Andy pulls out a raw, and he slays. And then they let him get raw in the second match of that set. and he slays. And then the next week he plays Ra, and he slays. And the game after that he picks Ra, and he slays. And nobody banned it. Nobody ever banned this Ra. I just don't get it. And then it comes down to, well, we're gonna either lose here and end our split, or we're gonna go on to play in the Sunday. What do? We give him Ra, and he slays it. Like, why did they ban? I'm actually mad about it. But at the end of the day, we got to watch, and this is just a lot of fun. Bang! Misses that one, but comes through with the run through. Stop making fun of me. At the end of the day, he still finds the kill. And Andy on this Ra has been one of the most fun mid laners for me personally to watch. I just enjoy watching what he's able to do and really bring home the wins.
I liked Andinster on the Ra. I think that Gabe took a bit of a risk factor when they let the Ra go through. They wanted to see if the Skadi could potentially be enough lockdown possibility, and having the Sobek as well, just maybe it could all factor in together, but unfortunately just unable to really pick it up.
Listen, I'm down to play with fire, but I ain't touching no lava, and that's exactly what they did when they let that Ra through. It's just a little bit too dangerous. Andy puts the team on his back, old school style, like we used to see him do in the jungle, and just brings it home in the mid lane. What's your biggest key in this one?
I think you still can't forget about fineokay. I mean, he pressured. When you got a front line just pushing up so far, I mean, Ra was never in trouble, to be honest.
Yeah.
You have a Thor, you have a lot of things that can get to the back line, but when fineokay is destroying 3 people by himself, I mean, Ra is just, backfire, just shooting.
That's what he wants to do. He's able to sit in that back line, be artillery. And one of the fun things that I mentioned about Andy's Ra once upon a time was the fact that he plays this character without the sustained composition in mind, right? You can drop the Odin and sure, he might get stuck in the ring, but he's not picking the Ra with the intent of healing and trying to re-siege. That's not what the comp is about. It's just long-range damage, shoot you in the face, and it's absolutely rocking it. SoaR goes on. They topple Gabe in 3 games. They'll head on to fight Eonic come Sunday. Certainly looking like they're going to pose a big threat to those guys right there. You've played both these teams. How do you think that matchup goes?
I think SoaR is going to take it in a 2-1. It's best of 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was right.
Well, I guess that's what you don't got to worry about it when you don't make it there, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I had more fun being here.
I love it. Standing by, we've got the man himself. It's Andinster standing right next to Aggro. Let's talk to him.
I finally get to talk to a winner. It's a lot more fun whenever we get to talk to the winning side. Andy, congratulations. You move on to face Eonic on Sunday. Talk me through that set, though, because game 1, you guys got absolutely crushed.
Yeah, we didn't draft enough pressure. Like, we had a comp in mind, but we kind of just like spaced out on the fact that we're picking Ares and Terra together, and like neither of our lanes had any push.
Sure.
And then it just like our room for error was so small that if we take one misstep, because like the waves are so far in our face, if we take one misstep, we're gonna die. That's kind of what happened like several times early game.
Yeah, it was just tough. Vetium had a tough time on the Artemis as well. A lot of lack of push, I would say, on the sidelines there with that draft. But you absolutely turned it around. And what's the team morale like? Is it difficult whenever you have a tough game like that to just immediately turn back and kill it in games 2 and 3?
It wasn't that bad because like it wasn't really like a close game where we just got like outplayed. It was like we knew from the beginning we're like, oh, we messed up our pressure. Like we're not going to be able to do much in these games. So
sure. It
was kind of like expected. Like once after the first like 10 minutes, we're like, oh, okay, this is what's happening.
Right, and you know exactly how to fix it moving on into games 2 and 3. Chapo talks about it on the desk, but fineokay has been an unreal addition to your team. What has he brought to you guys?
Yeah, he's just a really great teammate. Like. He just works really well with us. He's like really good at listening, and then he's just really insane mechanically, which I definitely did not expect. When we were picking up the solo laner, we're like, okay, like we just need him to be a good listener and be like pretty good, and we'll be all right. And then like we just happen to pick up somebody who's just like a mechanical beast and just like super confident, like just worked out awesomely. Yeah,
his Hercules is on a different level, man. And talk to me about your transition from the jungle into the mid role, because there was a little bit of a struggle there, as did all of your team basically towards the beginning of the split. But you really seem to have matured, and you look much more comfortable there in the mid now.
Yeah, it wasn't like the slowest transition. Like I felt pretty confident from the beginning, but I was like, I didn't really know how to play it for like the team, I guess.
Sure.
And now we're like learning how to like play around me and Homie and like just really mesh together. Well,
you're up against Eonic on Sunday. How do you guys feel? Because you didn't get a chance to play them during the regular season due to your solo laner leaving for Eonic. This is a pretty exciting chance for you guys.
Yeah, it's a chance to get back at Benji. And, we're excited. We're feeling confident.
Yeah, awesome, man. Do you have any shout-outs before I let you go?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to all the fans. Shout out to SoaR. Shout out to my teammates. And Yeah, thanks, guys.
Awesome. Great stuff. Andinster, the mid laner. My brain still wants to say jungler. Still wants to say jungler. The mid laner for SoaR. He's moving on to go to the NA Finals up against Eunited on Sunday. Let's throw it back to the desk so they can wrap it up here on Friday of this Gauntlet.
Thanks a lot, guys. Fantastic. Thanks a lot, guys. Fantastic stuff. Actually talking to Andy right there, the man that I was talking up. Seriously, one of the most fun things for me in Smite is to watch Andy play that Ra. Smite Pro actually tweeted out some interesting stats. So out of 5 times that he selected Ra in the Pro League, 4 times he winds up with a win. He averages a single death per game. 45 assists, upward, like you're just not allowed. You're just not allowed. You give that man Ra, and you wind up taking a back seat. Unfortunately for everyone that's not SoaR goes on to face Eunited on Sunday, and this is how we all got there. Fantastic stuff coming out from the challengers. Oxygen Supremacy, they certainly put on a great show today.
And Oxygen Supremacy, hopefully we get to see EU's very own Oxygen Supremacy with, I mean, it's hard to say, at the very least, whether or not Optimus Gang, their name starts with an O, at least.
Jeez.
So that's got to mean something.
I mean, they're obviously going to beat Sanguine, but it's really about if they beat Lion Guard a little bit later on. Oxygen Supremacy came through, toppled number 8, number 7, number 6, and even through number 5 for a loop in Memory of Gabe, having to stretch all the way to 3 matches in order to find the win. As we said, SoaR winds up solidifying their seat next to Eunited. We'll see what happens tomorrow as we do the European leg of the Gauntlet. A lot of fun here watching these guys. If you have to pick, I'm gonna ask you, what was your favorite moment of today, Chapo?
Losing. All right, I'm gonna be for real now. I think it was just watching, like rooting for a team. I mean, I'm rooting for them because I don't want to look bad, but I mean, these guys came out of nowhere and just stomped face. It wasn't like, oh my God, they're taking it to a 3-game series. No, they just came in. All right, guys. We're going through every team.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun for me. Yes, I enjoyed watching the games, but really what I liked watching was I liked going back where all the players are sitting and taking a look at all the players, watch this challenger team come and kind of just surprise everybody. They know the names, they know Kiki. Nobody's like, these aren't unheard of players, but seeing everybody just sort of get a revitalized feel for the game, watching these guys topple all expectations was a lot of fun for me. Everybody really just dialed in, and I think that was my moment. Taco, how about you? How you feel about Friday?
My favorite part was watching Hindu walk around on camera just completely lost, because I don't think I've ever seen him more spaced out in my life.
I liked when you did the aggro to aggro off camera and nobody knew what was going on. You just hit him with the... and it was just completely out of nowhere. While I'm doing some sort of bracket discussion, out of nowhere, you just go, hey, to somebody completely off camera. So, Taco, ladies and gentlemen, one of the latest additions to the commentary team here at hi-rez Studios. We've had a fantastic Friday, and tonight, that's all for the Pro League action, but if you want to play some games at home, you can certainly make it worth your while. Double the fun, double the action in your worshippers, experience, and followers as well. Also, Spring Split Pass, 25% off. That's going to happen too. You can take part in virtually all of it if you want, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, the fun continues. European leg of the Gauntlet. We're going to have, again, Challenger versus 8, 6, 7, 5, 4, and then we'll see who winds up facing number 3 on Sunday. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Like I said, tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. here on hi-rez TV. My name's Tom. That's Taco. That's Chapo. You can't see the rest of our team, but each and every one, thanks you for joining. We'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.